well, let's go ahead and introduce the next topic. Grace Sharkey from Orderful is here. Blythe, Milligan, Everything is Logistics podcast presented by SPI Logistics. And we're going to be talking about freight marketing again, but a spotlight of some companies that we think are doing some cool things with their marketing, and hopefully you can take some inspiration from and maybe get a little bit, have a little bit more fun with your marketing. Now, for this one, do you want to go first and talk about your company first?
Well, I guess I don't have one for this week. This is you.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Well, I got a good one. So
and this is why I don't have one, because this is a good one. So I'm
okay,
just agreeing with yours today.
Awesome. Well, what I wanted to talk about is video game marketing or gaming marketing that has kind of taken over with respect to the logistics industry. Now, I do want to bring up a couple of different.
I do have one for this, but you go first.
Okay, hold on.
I forgot what we were talking about. I was making so many notes just now.
It's tough to switch from because SEO is just such a complex topic, and there's so many strings I could pull on it. But this is a fun one, because this is more. I don't know how many leads this is going to send you if you're a company that's investing in different games. But I think it's fun. I think it's creative. I think more companies, especially freight companies, need to be more creative with their marketing. And so this was the one that it's freightgames.io. Now, this is a sort of a transportation focused game where I would say it's almost like Frogger, where you're trying to avoid the obstacles. I'm not going to play the game because that would probably crash my computer and we would lose our live stream coverage. But freightgames.io, which was created by Stephen Rue and Garrett. Shout out to Garrett. He is one of the co-founders over at Load Partner and Search Carriers. He's also doing some stuff. He's helping us out with some search stuff over on Cargo Rec. So very talented. They play around a lot in the game space, and I would say the AI space, and then just making fun components around it. And this is one of those things. So freightgames.io is one of them. It looks like they might be coming out with more soon, because they have the word games pluralized or pluralized. What is that a word? No, it's not a word. They have games plural. So that game is called Freight Frenzy. And what the cool thing about that one is that they have billboard space in the game. So it's you have a giant semi truck, and you're trying to avoid, different obstacles on the road in order to get a high score. But on the road itself, they have different billboards. And so there's been different advertisers within logistics that will advertise on one of the digital billboards, which I thought was really, really cool, really creative. Especially if you're a brand who's looking to take up some ad space, that's pretty fun. So I want to give a shout out to them. Then the next one that I want to highlight is called Flexport Tycoon. I don't know if you have seen this one yet.
No.
So Flexport had recently, they participated in a hackathon. So an AI hackathon where they have some of the best engineers right now working in AI. They brought them. I don't know that they brought them in. I think Flexport just participated in a hackathon that was already was already taking place. But Flexport Tycoon is a game developed in 1 week by ex-user Roosh V. He's a developer known for merging genres like zombie survival with endless running as part of a Gauntlet AI hackathon. So it was Gauntlet AI hackathon that was going on that Flexport participated in. But he was showcasing the rapid development capabilities enabled by AI coding tools. So this game, the Flexport Tycoon game, simulates global logistics management using real-world economic data from the top 200 ports.
Open the game.
Well, I'll mute it so you can play it. Or
I just clicked out. I couldn't find the mute button.
Well, that messes up our sound, so maybe don't try that again. Something about StreamYard, it doesn't whatever. It doesn't matter.
Sorry to all those viewers out there, but you got a nice Irish jig that comes with this game, apparently.
Okay, so with the game, it simulates global logistics management. It uses real-world economic data from the top 200 ports to create a realistic environment where players must build a logistics network and maximize profits before an AI singularity in 2035. reflecting concerns about technological acceleration as discussed in the concept of technological singularity. So basically, that is a lot of jargon to say that we're going to reach a certain level of AI singularity where it's the tech is going to be as developed as it, from what I understand, it's going to be developed as much as it possibly can be. Kind of like I don't know. I don't want to, I guess, over explain something, but for this particular case, this developer went in, used open source data, created this game, and then while you're managing the game, like your logistics empire, it incorporates elements like commodity price fluctuations due to real world events, port strikes, and financial decisions like taking on debt or equity, drawing from Flexport's real world logistics platform, which optimizes supply chain operations for major retailers, thus blending educational content with immersive gameplay. So that's how they kind of explain with this game in particular. It was, if you go to, and I'll link to in the show notes, the developer who created it, because I mean, he was actively like creating it and watching his fleet. If you're watching on the screen, you can kind of see a picture of the globe that's in the middle image, but then the image right above that, it might be an image. Let me just take a look. But while you're playing the game, there could be like breaking news of like a port strike in Spain that's going to affect one of your shipments. And so you have to figure out where to reroute it to where it makes the most sense and it's still, you know, a profitable shipment. So you're taking these real world logistics example or real world logistics strategies, and then they're kind of like layering in different real world events. And they don't even have to be like real world events. They're like real game events, and to address how you would handle the situation. So I haven't actually played this game. I know you just tried to play it. Were you able to get in at all?
Yeah. Oh, I got in for sure. I didn't. I know. I immediately clicked out because I couldn't find the mute button.
Let me see if I muted it.
You tried.
So we'll see if it will load. I
mute my side too.
Excuse me. So if you're just listening, we are trying to load the game, but I can still hear it.
Can't hear it.
Let's just hit play. Let's just see what we're just going to do a little live demonstration.
Oh, because you have your headphones in, that's why.
Still, I can barely hear you, but it's just a screen that says, welcome, Mr. Mark Levinson, which Mark Levinson is the famous author of The Box.
Yeah.
Book. So that it was the box covers like the container revolution, all that. But it says, welcome, Mark Levinson. Your goal is to make as much profits as possible for the AI singularity in 2030. Buy ships, assign them to routes, and manage global events. Your new life begins now. The world ports are waiting, Captain. So I click on Let's Begin. Okay, well, this is not off to a good start. But you can like buy a ship. Yeah, I should probably have demoed this before I brought it up. But you can kind of get a brief overview. What I do want to show is the next game. I gotta get off this. It's driving me crazy, especially for a live show.
I see. But I will say what is like kind of cool about that too, though, is just like, well, one, how simply he made the game, but it's I mean, from a marketing standpoint, you're probably like, people are navigating their own problems within a game that they've already experienced outside. It's interesting.
Well, I think I love it from the person, because you might be asking yourself, as from like Flexport's perspective, like, why would you even want to be involved in something like shouldn't you be focused on like freight forwarding and your customers and things like that? But with what this tool does is that, or participating in this hackathon does, it exposes your brand to all of these developers that might not have had any idea of what you do, how logistics and supply chain works. And these are the people that are making like the best of the best, like AI games, software solutions, things like that. They might not have ever been exposed to supply chain and logistics. And as we become more technology focused as an industry, you're going to need some of these smart ass people that are just building games in their spare time for fun. And then maybe they bring that fresh perspective, both from technology and operations standpoint, into your organization. And you get some, brand awareness and some marketing love from it. So I think that's the advantage here. There's another one that I want to bring up, and this is probably,
it is kind of funny though, because remember when like container rates were really high, and then everyone was like, oh, these companies, they're all just like a bunch of goons, right? Like a bunch of like mobsters. I can't remember the term that was used that everyone was so upset by. But then like this game is like, the goal of this game is to become the mobster. Like it said there, like make as much profit as you can, and like maybe if everyone who was like, oh, these rates are too high, did that, they'd realize why the rates are fair.
Well, now I guess we figured it out. It's just
exactly.
manipulation on the back end. And so that, well, the next one I did want to bring up, because I to keep in line with like, sort of the brand awareness and why would you even do this, is that, we haven't really had anybody make fun stuff like this yet.
Yeah.
But the last one I did want to mention is, it's probably my favorite so far because I've actually played the game. But it's BlueGrace, and they have what's called Supply Chain Hero Logistics Quest. I saw this that was posted out on LinkedIn a couple of weeks ago. Oh, actually a week ago. But it's all of these different games. And so let me bring up actually their website, because I think that their website, oh, it's right on the LinkedIn post. I should probably just click that. So sharing this tab. So very similar, like loading box to the Flexport game. But this one is very, and I'm going to mute it before any music starts, because I know that there's music on this one too, but very clever, like, branding here. Supply Chain Hero Logistics Quest is very much like, old school, like retro gaming style. They have a little tagline that says, don't play games with your supply chain. They have marketing, like brand awareness built directly into the game. So
I love this.
I don't know if you heard that.
Oh. No, I did. We did hear you.
You did hear it?
I heard you.
Okay, good. Because the music starts like and is very loud. So let's just do everything is logistics. I'm just gonna fill this out in real time.
PC 2000s gaming. I love it.
And let's start game. So what you can do is you can pick out your different player. I'm just going to go do a total like walkthrough. So you can pick out, different emoji types. Like you can customize your little avatar. I'm just going to keep this one the same. But if you're looking, or if you're listening, what we're looking at right now is kind of like a old school, like Mario map, where you have to go to this one level and beat this one, and then you can go to the next level and beat that one. And then the map kind of, the 2D map moves along. It's all 2D animated, which I think is really cool. A couple of the first, so right now they have 3 games on this, and it's a map of 7. So they have 4 other games that are getting developed soon.
That's awesome.
So one of them was trucking. One of them was like, loading up a truck. One of it was like almost like a Tetris style game that you're trying to load cargo into the truck. I was terrible at loading the trucks and putting cargo into the trucks. Terrible. Those are the first 2 games. The one I crushed it at was the warehouse, where you got to find the good data providers. So hopefully will it let me play it.
You have to find the good data providers.
So this is your little character. If you can kind of see. So you don't want to go for the red ones. You just want to go for the green ones. Green data is good. And so I crushed it with this one. So you just want to go after these. You don't want to hit any of the red ones.
Switching logistics games. Like
yeah, I don't know. BlueGrace.
What happens if you touch the bad data? You just lose data.
You lose points. So you see your points up in the upper left-hand corner. So yeah, see, I just lost.
Did you buy
points.
something?
So ruining my high score just for demonstration purposes. But what's funny, or I don't want to say funny, but what's cool about this game is that or my bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to
it's real out here.
I got the bad data, so it messed me up. But if you notice, I completed one of the levels. So in the middle, it has a BlueGrace logo, and so you can learn more about BlueGrace by clicking on the logo that appears only after you get some make some good moves. I couldn't click on it in the loading and the unloading trucks because I was terrible at doing it. But this one I was a little bit better at. And so, a little bit of marketing that plays a role there. And, they're doing some like different marketing campaigns. If we look back at this LinkedIn post where you can like sort of share and score, you win it looks like a retro Game Boy there. But you can post your moment. I did post my moment.
Look at you.
Look at this. Look at this. We got a perfect score. We got no bad data. And I got a little BlueGrace click.
I've not attempted to play this game yet, but I will. This will happen this weekend.
But this is I loved playing it. So that was a lot of fun. I was very frustrated on the trucking aspect side of things. But I thought that this was a really smart way to generate brand awareness, have a little fun in the industry, do something a little creative and different. That ties into not only just what can we do to get more leads, but what can we do to get people talking about our company? That's a perfect way to get people to talk about your company. Flexport is another, example. Lots of people talk about their company because the CEO is fantastic at interviews, but that their initiative exposes their brand to high quality data engineers that are at the forefront of AI that, hopefully will come and maybe work for them and work in their pipeline. So I just thought it was really a creative way to kind of inject some fun into supply chain, which is obviously it's been a crazy world over the last 5 years in more ways than one. And I don't know that we even know what a normal supply chain even looks like, probably not for another few years, especially with all the tariff drama and what the new global order of supply chain looks like. But stuff like this is fun and it allows other people to have fun.
And what I'm thinking too is like, you and I go to a lot of events. I mean, imagine you set up like using this as an event to pull people into your booth. I mean, what a winner. Like, way to stick out. And like, you could have like a competition, like people going against each other. And so even outside of that, at some point, if you have biz partners, like you're selling ads now on there and like, actually, let's not come up with great ideas for BlueGrace. Besides, I will be playing this game. See, and that's like my type of game, Some of these video games are like really intense. This looks like I could get into it.
You could pick it up right away. You don't have to remember all the damn buttons and
arrow and return.
That's it. I will say the loading of the other game, like the trucks are all like backing up and you're like the forklift operator and you have to like match the cargo to the colored truck. And I probably should have read the instructions better in order to play that one. But I that was an immediate like crash out for me. And I was like, let me go try one of these other games.
So that's awesome. I love that. That's cool.
All right. Well, that is I do have one more now that we're kind of on the topic of freight marketing. Because
this is what I thought you were going to get. Yeah.
Well, this is another really great case of I was going to save it for like my favorite businesses in freight, but we've actually had them on the show before. I had it about a year ago, I believe, is Gnosis Freight. So they have what's called a container lifecycle management platform. So it's an operating system for containers that goes beyond tracking into action. I'm pulling this from my transcript that we had a while back when Gnosis came on the show. But they put a call out. Well, actually, let me take a step back. They made their own hot sauce. And then they put a call out on LinkedIn for folks who were interested in maybe trying the hot sauce or who wanted maybe a little care package. So Gnosis, you sent it to me and I said, absolutely. Cause I love different hot sauces. I love trying them. So immediately I hit them up and I was like, excuse me, knock, knock, knock. Hopefully I didn't come across as rude, but I how dare you not know that I'm into hot sauce? That was, I think
honestly,
that was sort of my tone, I guess, behind it. So sorry to the Gnosis marketing team if I came across, because I think I literally said it in the post, hello, send it to me. Well, they did. They sent me a beautiful care package. Thank you so much. Here are a couple of the highlights. I got a ton of stickers. So I love the little sort of brain, the container operating system brain. So they sent out, a few different stickers for that. We love a container.
And she loves stickers, guys. And so send her the
Stickers and pens.
Stickers and pens and contain. That's cute. Is that a squeezy?
A little foam.
Love that.
Squeezy thing for the container. Gnosis Freight.
When she's like stressed out because she's not loading this truck.
SEO. Like
the BlueGrace side of things.
But they sent me actually 3 of these things. So 2 of them are with the dogs, and this one is for my desk. So the dogs don't rip it up, which is, I think, a good thing, or maybe a bad. I don't know. They're weird dogs. But the family dogs, they don't rip them up. They treat them very gently. So I like to think that Gnosis respects that. My mom and my brother have dogs.
Okay, I was like.
So I get my dog fixed when I go.
Blythe. That's why I was like, when did you get dogs?
I don't have a yard, so I haven't gotten a dog yet. But when I do get a yard,
like I know you're married, but you can't call your husband a dog.
Oh no, not him. They also said my personal favorite.
Oh, love that.
The palette Post-its. You can never go wrong with palette Post-its. So I will absolutely use those. So thank you for that. And then, of course, this is what we've been talking about, is their Gnosis hot sauce, which is a very good hot sauce. They sent me 2 bottles. So this one is not opened. The other one is opened and almost gone. That's how much we use it. So it's a great tasting hot sauce. Not too hot, not too, I don't want to say soft. It's like, it's a good medium, and it's a good flavor, because for a lot of hot sauces, sometimes they just are hot for the sake of being hot. There's no flavor around it. This is good flavor, and it's a pretty decent kick. You can't obviously make it super hot, because then you can't give it out to everybody, because not a lot of people can deal with hot sauce on their stomachs. But shout out to Gnosis Freight for sending over this little care package. And so told them I would. Is that
linger? You know, some hot sauces linger. That's what I don't like. I don't like a.
It doesn't linger.
Oh
nope. It doesn't linger. Which is really cool that custom labels on it too. Yeah. So
it's a beautiful bottle.
Yeah, very cool bottle. They sent 2 of them. We're almost done with one of them. That's how much we've used it. I think we've had it for about a week now. So I always keep like hot sauce right at my desk, because I'm typically eating at my desk. Yeah. So we have some new desk ornaments and some new desk decor that the Gnosis team sent over. Oh, you got the Tabasco Conference hot sauce, which I love those things too. So maybe Gnosis, a little cue. Maybe you could make some mini hot sauce bottles so we could travel with them.
Yeah, like the next conference will have these hanging out. I love it.
Do you? I might. Is it stealing?
No.
If there's a bunch of them.
No.
And you take a bunch of them?
Listen, no. This is really funny, because I've recently traveled with my mother, and she doesn't travel for work because she's retired, but I travel a lot for work, which means I run into a lot of these situations. No, I steal all and everything. All of it.
I take so many.
Honestly, I'll go. Sometimes I work at a Panera nearby. I will always leave there with a handful of ketchup packets. You never know when you need things like this.
Pretty soon.
So I'm telling you right now, like, and it's everything. Especially I think you get used to when you're traveling, like, you get stuck in somewhere, you don't have hot sauce, you don't have a condiment. Like, I'm even talking like freebies in a bathroom. Like, it's gonna happen. I recently went to, right before I switched jobs, I went to an event in Napa. And it was a very nice resort. Ooh. And everything there was complimentary, right? Put that in the bag. Put that in the bag.
You know what they talk? What's the phrase? Like, rich is loud, wealth whispers.
Yes,
I'm loud with it, with the freebies. I remember the first Manifest conference. It was my first conference in like a year and a half, and I had to ship a box back to my house, and because it was too much stuff to take with me, and it was like 7 different Yeti bottles, and
So I'm glad that you brought up Manifest, which, by the way, I'll be at Manifest as well this year. And I don't think I'll have the opportunity to do this again, but I know Blythe was kind of a part of this. So if you went to Manifest last year, you know that the women's luncheon was put on by Girl Scouts, which meant that every table had Girl Scout cookies. I'm not over exaggerating when I tell you I left 2 outfits behind so I could put at least 4 more boxes of cookies.
You almost said stole.
Well, I didn't steal them, they're free.
Maybe scored. Maybe that's what you were gonna say, scored.
Oh, scored, yes, no, yeah. Oh, yes, no, 100% scored, yes. But I was just talking to Courtney a couple weeks ago about this, and I was telling her about, you know, how we left there with lots of cookies. And but I quite literally left. There was an outfit just didn't fit right, and I was like, you know what, you're staying.
Decisions were made.
Yeah, I said the Sheen outfit will stay and the cookies will come. So,
cookies are probably worth more than the Shein outfit.
And I don't have, my friends' kids aren't old enough to be selling cookies, so I'm just out here killing, like trying to find cookies wherever I can get. And yeah, so I stuffed 6 boxes of gross out cookies in my suitcase at Manifest. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't.
I know.
I only knows.
I think at least I got at least 2. I think.
Oh, I got too many.
But those were such a fun giveaway that from Manifest, my Yeti DHL cup. I'm sorry, DHL. I covered up with a bunch of stickers. But they have the best giveaways, and sometimes now I'm never gonna ship a box. I don't want to say never. But that first big conference after, the C word and, 2020 and all that, drama, going to that first conference was like, letting a rabid animal out of a cage. Like I want all the freebies. And so I echo that statement. I also echo more companies making travel friendly hot sauces so that you can take it to a conference or take it with you, or just, kind of spruce up the conference food. Because we know the conference food needs it, and it's hard to find salt and pepper at any of these damn shows.
We need less flat brim hats or to-go sauces. Okay, stop giving. Listen, except for Reed, you can give me whatever you want. Stop giving me a hat. I don't wear it.
Hats and shirts, I don't want any part of. Even notebooks to an extent, because I'm very particular about my notebook. I
will tell you I want your shirt. And then 6 months later, when I spring clean, my future self will be yelling at me for taking that shirt.
Yeah, the local charities have all of my logistic shirts.
But I do still have all the convoy gear, because that company keeps rising.
Well, speaking of which, we do have the slot bracelet. That's still... And that was a very fun party, and it lights up and everything, and yeah. Still got the cowboy hat somewhere. I brought it on my bachelorette, or you brought it on the bachelorette party.
Hell yeah, I did. This is my favorite. It's like future free. Wow, look what that turned into.
Wow, I mean, it is beautiful. The cover is beautiful.
It is.
If you're just listening, Grace pulled up. I think it was one of the Freight Waves edition, like the book.
No, this is a Convoy magazine telling you that they are the future of freight.
Wow!
And if you go to page 10, they actually tell you that DAT will buy them one day. I'm just kidding.
It's a little crystal ball.
That'd be crazy. Oh shit! I love it.
So that was a great way of creative marketing. Conference season is also coming up very, very quickly. Are you headed to any conferences soon?
Yeesh! Am I going to a conference? Yes, I am. So I will actually. So for everyone out there, Orderful does a lot of retail. So there's going to be a lot more retail shows that you'll see me at.
Oh, interesting.
We have some really great plans for Sweet World. Actually, the next episode I'll probably talk about it, but we're hosting a really sick after party. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So for those out there, Orderful has built a really great EDI connector for NetSuite. So a lot of our customers who use NetSuite also use Orderful for their EDI integration. So we're going to go there and see a ton of our customers as well. And we're putting on a sick party with some really cool guests. So I'm excited that that's like one of the first things I get to work on. Is like a party with some of the members of NWA, and there's more as well. So if you're like, if you love 90s hip hop, we've got a couple of great people. Rob Bass, I got some great people. I'll give you more information on that the next episode when I can.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about our conference circuit for the fall. I'm only doing one, so that's Inland JOC, my first JOC conference. So I'll be at that one. But I think I'm going to take it a little light on the conferences this and just do JOC and then Manifest, of course, because Manifest is just such a long prep time for me.
We'll be there. I'll be there as well. Probably the other big one is we have Dynamics. So if you use Dynamics 365, we're going to be there in Orlando. The end of October. And then I potentially might be at TIA Tech. I have to call Don and yell at him about that. So I will, if I'm not at that, I'll be at Mexico. So even one of those. So
what's going on in Mexico? Like a trip into Mexico, or
we have a full company retreat.
Oh. This is what it's like working for a big company. Like, help your girl out. Invite content creators.
It's a future thing I'm working on, so don't even worry. You're in my head. But outside of that, Manifest, and then there'll be plenty of more coming. Probably with some really cool partners as well. Awesome. We have some really cool announcements coming in 2026, so it should be.
And I noticed, or maybe I'm just noticing this, but it's a lot more companies are doing more customer focused conferences.
Yes.
So maybe instead of doing like sponsoring a big booth at a traditional conference, maybe you host your own and invite your customers and wine and dine them.
Yep, and I think outside of that too is like, for instance, I went to a cart.com, had this really great event, and it was to educate its customers on tariffs and just everything going on. And but what's really cool about that too is then they also had their own personal vendors sponsoring it. And then they could, so for instance, like they used Brex, so they had Brex there sponsoring it, but then Brex could use that opportunity to sell itself to some of its customers. So it was just like it was the first time where I'm like, oh, everyone's winning here, So thinking of things like that, I think is really fun. But yeah, a lot of stuff coming around the corner, so that should be cool.
Well, that's cool. I think that's a good place to end this one.